Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Tottenham. What do all three clubs have in common this season? It's kind of been the year of the underdogs. And the common theme is it's been the year of the birds, the Magpies, Crystal Palace Eagles, Tottenham Hotspur, and their club crest. They've picked up unexpected underdog wins in cup finals, and Real Betis are going to feel like this lucky omen is on their side, as they're a team this season that have been known to get big points off the biggest teams in Spain. But the difference is this, you guys, they're up against us, yeah, us. Ever since that infamous John Terry slip in Moscow, most times we find ourselves in European finals, but winning the whole thing, man. The Europa League, the Champions League twice. We've had some inconsistencies in the Super Cup, but we even claimed that eventually in the end. So tomorrow, we can make club history by securing every single possible European trophy on offer at club level. And a club like us, when we find ourselves in these positions we don't tend to want to be in, at least we do what's right and we win the entire thing. But still, we're up against Real Betis, a team that we need to have a lot of respect for, and a club that I think all of us naturally assume we would be facing in the final because we are the best two teams by far in the Conference League. And they're a threat that I'm not going to take too lightly. There's three top players from them who are doing absolute bits under Manuel Pellegrini. I'm sure you guys know them already. I don't have to say it. Isco, number one for me, Anthony and Cardozo in the pivot. Cardozo offering that control, that aggression, ball winning ability. I think this guy is going to go all the way to the top. He looks clear. Anthony, completely reborn and rejuvenated under Manuel Pellegrini. I have to say this, I have to keep it real. A little part of that, of course, is being able to step outside of the controversy he was finding himself in with all these police investigations. Things are a bit open at this point in time. Let's see what happens in the end. But I think that probably played one of the biggest reasons behind his form loss at Man United and getting outside of the UK, as well as playing under Pellegrini, playing under a manager that trusts him, that believes in him. He's playing alongside like-minded players. He is playing in a tactical setup that is not wasting his talents playing as some wide outlet where he has to go on 50-yard runs by himself, relying on pure pace to get to the byline. At Real Betis, he is part of a machine. He is part of like-minded players. He has allowed that license to roam inside. Why? Because Pellegrini in the system focuses on wide threat, stretching the opposition. He wants to use wide rotations and combinations. You're going to see the fullback pushing high and wide, making those third-man runs in behind, and Real Betis make sure they find their wingers. They will play direct balls quickly to find them. And this is where Anthony has shined, and he's shined to the point where at the moment, he's looking like one of the best players in La Liga, and he is living up to all the hype that he had whilst at Ajax. So this is a player we need to watch out for because Anthony has become synonymous, a little bit like Arjen Robben back in the day, for only scoring bangers outside the box with his left foot. And he is going to be ready. The entire Betis team will be. But for me, the final player that really just elevates everything at Betis, because without this player, they'd still be a strong team, but they would not be as great as they are right now. And that has to be Isco, one of the feel-good stories of the year. Easily one of the best players in La Liga. He's found life again. And playing for Betis, he has that freedom and license to roam, which just suits his style completely because he is that connected presence in their team. He is the guy who's allowed the responsibility on the field to dictate how Betis are going to attack. His problem-solving skills, his ability to create things from nothing, his ability to keep the ball under pressure, how he encourages movement around him because his teammates know 9 times out of 10, Isco is going to keep the ball and he's going to play an unreal pass in behind to release them. He's one of the big players we need to have a plan for, and he's going to relish this game. So they're the 3 guys that Real Betis are going to rely upon to get a result against us. But don't get it twisted. They're a team that are more than just nice little bits of possession, nice little skills here and there. They're direct. They have intensity. Against your Madrids and Barcelonas, they press them and press them and press them. They did similar things against Fiorentina. we have a serious game on our hands here. And I think it's quite fitting and kind of ironic that actually the Conference League final has two better teams than what we saw in the Europa League. So make of that what you will. We have to win this because for me, I've always seen the Conference League as the equivalent of a European Carabao Cup. And I remember when I was a kid, when I saw us beat Liverpool 3-2 in 2005, at the time, people tried to downplay the importance of that cup. But for a new team that was just being built together, growing together, and coming up together, that first win, that first trophy lift, that just unlocks something psychologically. When you win something, it's a tangible, real thing in your hands that is the perfect representation of all the hard work you put in. And once you can claim that in both hands, this allows you to push on more. So I think for us, this is an incredible way to end the season, and it could be an incredible platform boost to let us know what we can do now in the future. So my friends, you know what time it is, man. Preview against Real Betis, Conference League final. Share your thoughts and opinions. Hit that like button only if you think we're going to lift the trophy today. And expect to see me with some videos and TikToks and shorts today as I'm currently out in Poland. You know, I'm staying in some mad MB right now. And as you're seeing, look at the seat I'm sitting on. Like, I'm a big kid. If I see something like this, best believe my ass is going to be on here. I'm going to be making this video here. So I hope you guys enjoy, man. And let's get straight back into the preview. I want to start things with the lineup, and it's pretty hard and pretty techie to figure out exactly what we're going to do, because a part of you thinks, are we going to respect a lot of the players that have played a lot of game time, got a lot of minutes in this competition? I'm sure on one hand, we are going to do that. But on the other hand, of course, we got a full strength squad at the moment, and you want to end the season on a high before the Club World Cup. And I think for Maresca, being able to claim his first trophy with this team, this is too important of an opportunity to let down. So I feel like we could see combinations between a few regulars in the Conference League and obviously the main stars playing. So this is the lineup I'm going for, and I'll keep it real. I'm not even that confident. But anyway, Jorgensen in goal, I feel pretty confident about. Defense, I've gone for Kukurea. I've gone for Badi Ashil because he's played here all the time. I've gone for Trevor Jalaba, and I've gone for Achimpong, actually, which is the risk, because would it surprise me if Reece James, maybe Augusto started over him? Maybe, but at the same time, Achimpong is a top-class player in the making. He's been very strong and solid in the Conference League, and I think he would be more than ready to relish this game against Betis, to be honest with you. They'll be using their young winger in Jesus Rodriguez. I think it'll be a very interesting battle. I'd go for him personally. Midfield probably speaks for itself. Enzo, Moises Caicedo. I don't need to see Caicedo inverting in this game today. And up front, I've gone for the heavy hitters. Nico up front. On the left, Madueke, Palmer, and Neto on the right-hand sides. I was thinking originally to put Tyree George in on the left, but I think maybe for himself, he might replace Nico maybe as the game goes on. But I do think that this team probably reflects a bit of fair rotation, as well as having the big boys in the team. And maybe expect to see subs like Dewsbury Hall definitely coming on at some point. Lavia coming on. Tyree George. A few of these guys maybe seal things up in the end. But at this point, there isn't much to communicate in terms of what to expect from this team, how we're going to approach the game, how we're going to play. I'm kind of relishing this game against Real Betis because I feel like against Spanish teams, there are good opportunities where there is a bit of space to play at times. Like, you do have to win the game by being a good football team. And I think if you display those qualities, you're going to have great success. So I do think that transitionally, this will be a game tonight where we're going to see both wingers being able to have the license to influence the game and make things happen. And I think ultimately, whoever performs better is going to help their team out in this situation. For those very same reasons, I also think that Nico Jackson tonight could have a bit of joy coming up against, Spanish opposition where there could be more opportunities to make those runs in behind, opportunities to drop deep and carry us up the field as well. And I think he kind of needs that because he has been on the periphery a little bit ever since he came back from his injury near the end of the month. So I would like to see Nico redeem himself after getting that red card against Newcastle and putting us under a lot of pressure. There's an alternate universe somewhere where we haven't just quite made that Champions League qualification spot, and he probably was one of the reasons as to why. So Nico Jackson up against La Liga defenses, hopefully that inspires some confidence in himself. But yeah, with this lineup, I think it's strong enough, it's fair enough, and let's see how things go down. So share your thoughts and opinions on the lineup, and if you don't agree, let us know the lineup you want to see in the comments below. And to end things, let's tackle the key talking points from the press conference today. Maresca let us know that he has obviously met with Pellegrini. Of course, he was once coached by Pellegrini, so today will be a case of master versus apprentice for sure. He was asked, what does it mean to win the Conference League? And he said that, listen, this season's already been a good season, irrespective of whether we secure Champions League football or not, or if we win the Conference League or not. Fair enough. But in the meantime, obviously, it does make me think about his comments he said earlier, when he always reiterated that he was kind of safe irrespective of what happens this season. And I think actually now that we're at the time now to look back and reflect, I think maybe he was onto something the whole time. And all those comments are recontextualized. Naturally, after the passion he showed against Nottingham Forest post-match, infamous F of comments, they were brought up again. I think one Giano tried to do a little bit of banter, which I don't think Maresca clocked onto it when he was asked if his wife told him off. Fair enough. But Maresca said in response to that question, listen, the players responded to the criticism. It was a good reaction. The reactions from your co-walls and the rest of the team. For mine, the outburst from me, it was a moment of passion. But listen, the reason for this energy is that in the bad moments we had during the midpoint of the season, many people spoke and many people applied pressure against us. And they would feel that they were right, even though from our point of view within the squad, they didn't have all the details. We have the youngest squad in the league, but I have to say they behave like men. So I use that to tell the team today is where we can say to everyone, we aren't youngsters anymore. And I think that's an important message that Maresca should be imparting in this team today. I've been saying, the Conference League final kind of feels like the Carabao Cup European trophy. So I think this would be a really good thing for the team to have at this stage in time. But to move on, of course, he was asked, okay, who specifically are you addressing these criticism comments towards? And listen, for keeping things real, I think most of the criticism came from within the fan base. Let's not forget those protests that came out a few months ago as well. But come on, in a cup final, Maresca would be absolutely stupid to bring them up. So naturally, he's a smart guy, deflected things away. And to be fair, I'm not even going to get into this right now because we have a cup final to worry about and not this negative stuff. So to move on, two final key things. How will Nicholas Jackson approach the game? And as Maresca said, I hope he's going to be hungry and raring to go. He's kind of in debt with the team after making us perform for over an hour with 10 men against Newcastle. But Nico already knows mistakes he's made. He's already apologized and he is hungry for tomorrow. So I think this confirms the fact that Nicholas Jackson will be in the starting 11, of course. And for the final comment, of course, how does it feel to be the favourites for the Conference League this entire season? I mean, let's be serious. The moment we knew from last season, when we finished 6th in the league, that we had secured Conference League football, I think all of us knew from that very point forward that we were going to be in the final, and I think we're going to win this. Let's be brutally honest. He said that it was actually quite hard to convince the team at first, actually, because, and let's see it like this. You're Cole Palmer, you're in a training session, you've got a game against, I'm trying to remember the opposition now, Shamrock Rovers. I'm sure these are teams this guy's never heard of in countries that he's never heard of in his life before. So how are you going to get motivated for something like that? So I understand that coaching perspective, Ryan, but I like the answer that Maresca gave, actually. And he said, listen, we aren't in the Champions League. We aren't in the Europa League. We find ourselves here. So it means simply we must win. We must try to win this because this is the only way you build winning mentality. Yeah, you don't pick and choose when you want to win things because winners don't approach games like this. They don't approach winning like this. You know, everything is a win. Everything's a W. That's the energy you need to have at every single point. So if this is a bit of a humbling experience being in the Conference League, so be it. I think in the long run, it's a good education for these guys. And I think if they're able to secure the cup today, which, come on, the trophy looks absolutely beautiful, and they're securing really good club history today, then I think this would be a really good educational season for these lot. So my friends, that's the conference out of the way. Got to end things with a prediction, and it's very, very simple. I'm going to go for a 3-2 win. I don't know. I just get the impression that we're going to see goals today. You know, we're up against an opposition that they're not afraid to play. They're not afraid to go for it. That's the thing with Real Betis. Their fans are going to be behind them. You know, very passionate, very aggressive fans. The players are going to be very confident as well, too. There's two confident teams going up against each other, and I just get the impression we could see goals today. So I'm going for a 3-2 win in our favor. And my guys and girls, everyone else, that is it for me today. I'm going to quickly get this video out, get ready, go back into town, and get ready to hopefully see us lift the Conference League tonight. So I hope you guys enjoy. Final preview of the season. Go crazy with the like button. And I will see you guys later on, probably when I'm back in London tomorrow. Love. Cool.